We made it to the fog. Now, before we get into this video, there are a couple of slight changes we got to address. One, we are no longer on the garbanzo beans mobile version of the game. And with that comes just a few changes to the rules. One, lawnmowers are back in play because we actually get 5 of them. So, they're allowed. 2, the game's gonna look slightly different because, it's not being played on my phone. And 3, some of the plants made an interesting transition. So, as to save you guys some time and not going back through it, basically, Puffshroom no longer died. We don't have Walnut. And if you see any others, let me know and I'll tell you where they died. Also, all of this was streamed, so, that was pretty cool. It's how you know it's legit. You can go on to twitch.tv/Mr. and you might see me there streaming. But yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right into it and let's go. Now, starting us off is 4-1, which, like most of the first levels, was not the most difficult. I will say that with honesty. It does introduce the most difficult first zombie, I will say, with the Jack-in-the-Box zombie. He literally made us reset on 4-1, which is it's a tough thing. But when, you blow up our literal only sun producer for the level, we don't have enough sun to finish the level. So yeah, we took a loss there, but we ended up winning. Got through it kind of normally. Sea Shroom is so not good, bruh. I genuinely think it does less damage than Puffshroom. It's even more useless because there are like no weak zombies in the pool, but it does get some use here, just letting the tall nuts be its blockers in front and dealing damage. It's not necessarily the best thing for our pool lanes, but with only so little area, it's kind of what had to happen. But that leaves 9 levels to go, so let's keep going. 4-2 was kind of a mixed bag. I mean, we played it first try, so that's a good one. We brought Repeater to deal with the All-Star because it was literally in like the front highlight. And so I spent my entire strategy just thinking about how we deal with this All-Star. But we went with a similar strategy to we did in 4-1. Lantern is actually really nice because being able to see the fog way less is actually way more useful than I thought it was going to be. Being able to see like cone heads and Jack-in-the-Box zombies, it's all very well thanks to Lantern. But right before the second wave, we lost some valiant soldiers. So rest in peace to the goats, and I will show you that now.
Please don't explode. Please don't explode. Please don't explode. Please don't explode. Why'd you have to go and do that? Now, why'd you have to go and do that?
So yeah, the loss of Lantern immediately after I was gassing him up is a little bit unfortunate. But the biggest loss, was losing Puffshroom. Without a zero-cost stalling plant, life kind of gets a little bit tricky. But we won the level without anything too major happening. Repeater and Scaredy Shroom are enough to deal with one lone all-star plus a brown coat. So we're able to get that done, earning us the cactus. Going off of that tragedy, 4-3 was kind of a different change of pace. We went with a double sun producer strat with both sunshroom and sunflower because cactus is expensive, repeater is expensive, and we don't have any free puff shrooms. The balloon zombie is not that bad in this level, but it's only not that bad because we got good RNG and he didn't spawn in the water. If he spawned in the water, I'm sure you could imagine the difficulty of dealing with like a conehead plus 2 brown coats plus a balloon zombie with only a cactus and a sea shroom. It's not a recipe for success, but yeah, I mean, kind of an easier level. And we unlocked Blover, who, I mean, we'll just get into it later, but Blover is not a premier plant in this challenge. This is where the RNG starts mattering a little bit more. On the bigger side of the pool, it didn't matter too much. The land is kind of always easy to defend because we're putting 3 repeaters down, plus scaredy shrooms, plus cacti to deal with everything at this point. Double sun producing strat like last time. The water lanes continue to be a problem. This time they bring back the dolphin rider, but we get super lucky with the dolphin rider. They all spawn in on the exact same lane, which lets us put a 3-peater in the other lane to deal more damage, which will keep us alive and pushing on with no casualties. You'll notice Blover is not in our lineup, and that's because pushing the fog away one time and having it come back and then we can never use Blover again is not a very useful ability, because, well, why would it be? The fog will just come back. If there's a balloon zombie, it's maybe useful, but we have to run cactus anyway, so it's literally almost never valuable. I don't think it gets used a singular time in the fog levels. But yeah, 4-4 completed, and we're moving on. 4-5 is vase breakers. We're going to use this as a little addendum because I remember in last video I said that vase breakers was in the night levels when that's really Whack-A-Zombie. But in my defense, we play vase breaker on the night map. Like, we don't play it in the pool, which I understand why, but you know, so I was like, it was in my mind but not on screen. The 3-5 challenge level is still the worst one, in my opinion, so far. It's still bad. It's just not as interesting as Vase Breakers, as Whack-A-Zombie, as Walnut Bowling. But yeah, this level doesn't count for the challenge, since no challenge levels count for the challenge. So we did that, and we'll just move swiftly along. Split Pea is one of the greatest additions to this challenge. Not because Split Pea itself is very powerful, because that's not true, but because Split Pea's level is super easy because we have to deal with the miner zombie. But the miner zombie is so freaking slow that he can barely do anything, and they make the level so much easier because we're dealing with him for the first time. And you know, Split Pea does get some work in here, but for the first time ever, we're using a plant from Crazy Dave's shop, Cattail. Cattail's really strong, so I didn't know if I wanted to bring him in. We only unlocked him for 4-5, or after 4-5. And I talked to the people watching it live, and they said it was fine because we got it with the coins we got from winning the challenges. So they were all coins you could have collected normally in the game, and the lily pad hadn't taken damage, so it's like a plant evolution, you know. So it's all good. It counts. It gets its one shot in the spotlight and Cattail is super strong, so I limited how much I would use him for future levels. But at the end of this, we unlock Starfruit. 4-7 is the hardest level of the fog so far. Not only do they spawn bucketheads in the water lanes, which is just the worst, but because the miner zombie is here, which I was previously clowning on like not even 20 seconds ago, I have to deal with him and a buckethead. And so we had to pull a little bit of cheese by destroying literally every single thing in my lane so that he could just hit the lawnmower. I don't know why they decided to come both at the same time. That was super uncalled for. But that dealt with one lane, which, you know, maybe not the most fair play strats, but it does work. And then we had to do it one more time with a buckethead in the water lane. Unfortunately, we just couldn't deal enough damage, but we were able to do it because we put the split P behind him. So split P still got some work in, still was occasionally useful. And this level unlocks the pumpkin. Despite 4-7 being a true challenge, 4-8 was anything but. The Pogo Zombie makes his introduction here, but they send them both in the exact same lane, so one singular tall nut was all we needed to beat him. And then I brought 2 sun producers because I thought this level was going to be truly a challenge. But with only 1 flag wave, it finished really fast. And the strongest zombie here was a conehead that they put in the water lane. So all I had to do was put a repeater down. And in the end, you know, I was a little scared that he was going to die. A little bit worried about it. So we used our newly acquired pumpkin as a shield. But yeah, 4-8, kind of not very strong. Not very difficult. But we unlock the magnet shroom, which we will definitely be talking about next level. 4-9 is almost difficult. Had it been any of the previous levels, it would have been the most difficult level in the game so far. I mean, we needed double sun producers, we needed the cactus, the scaredy shroom, we needed tall nuts for defense, we had to deal with bucket heads in the water, pogos, jack-in-the-box zombies. There were a whole lot of very dangerous zombies. And, you know, so that might lead you to question, why was this almost difficult? It's because magnet shroom's the go. I mean, magnet shroom is my favorite plant. It's arguably one of the best plants in this game. Not only does it counter bucket heads, especially the ones in the water, which is the bucket heads we most need to be countered, it also counters all of your jumping zombies, it counters the all-star, it counters the jack-in-the-box. If there's a problem, more than likely magnet shroom solves it. And so yeah, we beat this level and we move on to the final level of the fog, 4-10.
Alright. Whoa.
Are coming.
Okay. Wait. I remember this. We just gotta... Yeah. Oh. Alright. Starfruit number 2. Cactus in front. Magnet shroom 3rd lane. Finally ran Blower. 2 blowers. Oh my days, bro. Oh my days. This is sea shroom. Starfruit. Help. What is this? Okay, this genuinely might be the worst conveyor I think I've ever received though.
So obviously the conveyor levels don't count for the challenge, but I just thought that was really interesting that I genuinely might have gotten the worst RNG I could have possibly ever received to start a level. And it just happened to be the fog conveyor, which you only get to see like 1 second of your screen for every 10 seconds of darkness. Super fun conveyor. Probably my new favorite conveyor in the game. But yeah, that kind of makes the level done. Makes the fog levels done. 4/5 of the challenge is now complete. The finale should be out next Thursday. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it a lot. And I will see you guys in the next one.